Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to this best of 5 between soO in the bottom right as our blue Zerg and Gumiho, who's sending out a couple of SCVs all the way across the map here to start. 3 SCVs making their way across the map is what we see on the minimap. That's 1, that's a 2, and that's a 3. They're walking into an area where, to me, it looks like there's going to be a little bit of an overlord over here. And there indeed is. SCV makes... we'll have to return back home. And this overlord spots the SCV. We see the first barracks going down. Oh, there's a fourth SCV coming out as well. This is going to be a 4-Rex proxy. It is a hatch first coming out of soO. soO sends the drone out to try and find where these workers actually went to build. Is it going to be 4-Rex? It has to be, no? What are we doing here? Oh my god, he's hiding the 2-Rex behind it. So it's going to be a fake proxy 2-Rex into a real proxy 4-Rex. We'll have to wait to see if soO is ever going to figure that out. I don't think so, honestly. See some fighting between this SCV and the drone. It seems to me like, yeah, soO's just going to return back home. But this is a great start, obviously, for soO. We'll be very aware of what's going on. Not a single overlord going across the map, though, means... Wait, is that a 5th SCV? Are you kidding me? Oh, it's to repair the one SCV, I guess, or to help fighting. Something along them lines, huh? This SCV is going to return back home. Is this bad boy going to continue chasing? Oh, alright. That is it now. That is just straight up game. There is no way that Gumiho can recover from this. First of all these barracks are extremely late already. They're very far away. And then our good friend soO also spots everything. What an insane game number 1 here. This drone, the absolute MVP. Well, starting with this overlord actually being the absolute MVP. But this drone, the second MVP. 2 MVPs in this game. It is allowed. I have 2 awards. They can come and pick them up. We are going to need to see either a roach warren or a couple of spines. And it is going to indeed be a roach warren over here. This is extremely all-in here out of Gumiho. Gumiho will need to deal a lot of damage. We'll just straight up need to win the game, actually. Dealing a lot of damage isn't going to be enough. Well, unless you kill like 20 workers. And there's only hatcheries left. That might be fine as well. But don't think that's quite going to happen. Roach warren is finishing up right now. We have a lot of supply ready as these links are making their way across the map. Looking for, well, some info probably. These bad boys are trying to spot when the move out is going to be. A couple of marines here at the watchtower. That means that these links, well... And he's aware of the 4-Rex. So he's just going to build 5 roaches here. There's no way that I can imagine that soO loses this, right? It's just impossible. He scouted this, had basically the perfect response. I really wouldn't mind seeing a single spine being added. The range of the spine helps a lot. Has a lot of tanking power and it's relatively cheap. I also don't mind these 2 queens. We have 3 more roaches on the way. Indeed, we get that spine right now in the main base. Don't forget that the natural practically can just be given up as well. There's no need for that natural to stay alive. Roaches are starting to kite these marines a little bit. Does need to be careful that it doesn't lose any of them roaches, especially with an SCV flank coming in or something along them lines. 8 roaches are out already though. Queens are on the top of this ramp. Here come the SCVs with a bit of a flank. We see 1 roach falling a little bit low. 1 roach actually is going to go down. SCVs coming in with a decent surround as the marine count is relatively high. The question is the marine count high enough? 3-4 roaches have gone down already. 2 queens still alive though. Spine is going to move forward as well. And I do believe that soO has this game. 19 drones still alive, 6 roaches still alive. And as there's only 5 marines, GG gets called. soO wins game number 1 here on Cosmic Sapphire. Game number 2 is going to be played over here on Waterfall, a very Terran favored map as we see a pool first opener. So soO playing it safe after that very aggressive opener out of Gumiho in the last game. Gumiho, well, what's he gonna do as a result here? Just going to stay at home, not do much of anything. Just getting a barracks, just getting his gas going as well. A fairly standard opener. soO perhaps wanting to build a couple of links as well. What's the larva count? Currently at 1, so we're only going to see 2 sets of links. So the second larva does end up popping. Gas going down right now with a slightly delayed queen. This is all fairly standard. We'll have to wait and see if there's going to be a follow-up with roaches or if we're going to see just more drones as a follow-up. I think if it's roaches, you already have to build a roach warren at least relatively close in the future. And as we're not seeing that, instead we're seeing that overlord go down, I do believe that this indeed is just going to be a pretty standard play here out of our good friend soO. ITV most likely is going to end up dying. It's trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Reaper actually going to make its way across the map. Straight up reactor as well. Very unsafe play. Fast second gas too over here. Just want to note that. This is an odd build order. This is one of Gumiho's little tricks again. He loves playing these little tricks. Gumiho is a massive fan of just doing things a little bit different than most people. It's going to be 2 Marines into Hellions, I think. Or maybe even 4 Marines into Hellions. Nah, more like 2... This kind of looks like a Hellbat attack. It kind of does look like a Hellbat attack. Look how much gas he has already, though. Second factory? No. BC is a possibility. That was a very, very quick second gas. I just have to say it. Marines are being popped out. We're going to go up to 4 Marines. And then I guess we'll see a swap. At least that's kind of what I'm expecting here. There's a lot of gas in the bank. So I want a starport behind this as well. Reaper makes its way across the map. Starts shooting that hatchery. We do have a starport going down indeed. What is the follow-up going to be? I'm just not so sure. Is this going to be a tech lab? Yeah. The way that that barracks is moving, it feels like a tech lab. Nothing is being constructed yet. Okay, here we go. Overlord on the far left could perhaps provide some info later on in the game, but it will need to be sent in at some point. soO not quite doing that yet. Queen being built as well over here in the natural. We have double queens pushing the creep forward as metabolic boost is about to finish up. And with that speed, maybe we'll see some sacrificial links going in to try and scout. It's going to be a Raven opener here with a lot of gas behind this. Wants to fake the gas. Oh my god. Wants to fake the gas, but you can't fake if your opponent doesn't scout. And the opponent right here isn't scouting. soO might just get a couple of blind spores anyway because he isn't scouting. So in that case, it's all good anyway. I think Gumiho is going to be quite happy with that. These Marines were looking for an Overlord. So are these Hellions, or maybe looking for some links. Single Creep Tumor is going to get taken out. This feels like a fake all-in with Cloak Banshee. Like there's a couple of Marines, there's a bunch of Hellions out. Well, in reality, this is just a minor push. This will force out a lot of units. Also could actually deal some damage, looking at this, by the way. Like, sure, it most likely is going to be a fake. Oh, it actually is a fake. The Marine move out at least was a fake. No, he's going to go with it now. Okay. It's impossible to predict the next move of Gumiho because he also doesn't know what the next move is. Like, how can your opponent know what's going on if even you don't know what's going on? These Marines are going to make their way across the map. This feels, it smells, and it looks like a Hellbat all-in, but it's not a Hellbat all-in. Great little block here. Banshee Cloak. Oh my god, he's actually going to let it finish and get Cloak Banshees behind this. He showed the Raven. So in that case, I guess you don't want spores to be built. So you show the Raven and then get an actual Banshee with Cloak. This is insane. CC being built on the low ground as well. Just constant push-outs and move-backs, making it really difficult for soO to decide what the correct play is. These Marines are in a little bit of trouble, and that means that the CC is going to be in a little bit of trouble as well over here, if soO realizes what's going on. Yep, soO realizes he's going to find it. That will be a forced cancel. There's nothing at home though right now. Queen slightly out of position. Here comes the Raven. Single auto turret, double auto turrets will be pushed down. That means that this wall, if it stays alive, is going to be super important, because although the third base did get cancelled, if you're up 10-15 workers, I still think life is going to be a-okay. Still have the Raven alive with about 4 HP. Single Queen could deal with that. More drones are going to get taken out. 32 workers against 47 with the Banshee out here as well. Oh no, there's not a single spore yet either. I think this game might have actually just ended in favor of Gumiho. It all felt so good for soO with that massive run by. But then Gumiho one-upped him and said, I have an even bigger run by, and I'm going to kill a lot of workers. This CC is going to fall. No cancelled there. I guess it wasn't really killed yet. I thought it had already been taken out, that the CC was rebuilt on the high ground, but I wasn't paying attention to the minimap. 2 Banshees are here. Now, not a single spore has been constructed yet. There we go. First spore going down. Can we get an Evo chamber? Can we get an Overseer as well? Is going to be somewhat necessary. Raven makes its way back home, has 5 kills on that Raven already. 52 workers against 42. 3 barracks pumping out units as the tanks are also being produced one at a time here from that factory. Upgrades are relatively even, but these 2 Banshees are going to go somewhere. Let's take a look. What is soO seeing right now? Okay, he's not seeing the Banshees go in. It's not seeing the Banshees go anywhere, honestly. It's going to get a little bit of a surprise in about 3 seconds from now. When these Banshees start attacking. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 4. I mean, 4 isn't a huge amount, but it is big enough that it's annoying because, well, let's face it, soO already has no workers whatsoever. These Banshees are going to go home and potentially deal with any type of run by, I hope. No? Taking a little bit of damage first. CC once again built on location. His barracks 4 and 5 are on the way. Armory not quite here yet, by the way. That means that upgrade 2-2 will not be capable of starting immediately. That is a mistake out of Gumiho, unless he's planning on doing a massive 1-1 type of all-in push. Doesn't seem to be the case, as SCV production continued all the way through. And yeah, here we do have that armory. So 2-2 is going to be a little bit delayed here for Gumiho, and that sucks. His worker count is, for the first time in a while, slightly lower, but his army count is a lot higher. Creep tumors are practically non-existent. Raven is around as well, and with that anti-armor missile could really provide a lot of value with these initial pushes. At least that's what I feel like. It definitely could provide a lot of value. Oop, Marines dealing a fair shot of damage here. No queens nearby. That means all of these links are going to bleed out. Banelings also going to get targeted down on creep slow. Banelings not quite good enough. In main, well, there's a couple of drones going down. Thought it was the main base, but it's going to be the third, where the queens just walked away. And I think at this point Gumiho just wants to push with absolutely everything. Lots of energy still on that Raven. Anti-armor missile still available. That means that soO is in a world of trouble right now. 2-2 has started for soO. Baneling speed is about halfway done as well. If that finishes up, that could be a huge bonus. There is a little bit of creep kind of sticking out from that natural third area. Between the natural and the third, this area. But I'm not quite sure if that is going to be enough. Tanks are moving forward right now. Marines are stimming. 4 medeffects are healing, giving a lot of sustain to this push. And the tanks remain unsieged. Quick scan. GG gets called. soO is forced to tap out, and Gumiho wins game number 1, tying up the series 1-1. Alright, game number 3, as we see Gumiho open up with a quick marine. And well, not just a single marine. With 2 quick marines into a factory and then a reactor. Trying to hunt for an overlord. But soO just played more often against Gumiho. He was like, alright, this guy loves to hunt for overlords. Gumiho used to have a build specifically just for hunting overlords. He would get 3 marines out, delay the gas in the main base, and then just start walking around the map looking for those initial overlords to shoot. And soO says, okay, I know what you're doing, buddy. I know what you're like. I'm not gonna let it happen this time around. So hiding these overlords around the corners, making sure that they can't be caught. And I think that's a very wise decision here. This bad boy is going to perhaps go all the way around and eventually move in towards the main base. Starboard is being thrown down here. This is once again a 2-base opener out of Gumiho. So rather than heading for a fast third command center and taking it from there, Gumiho is a player that's very keen on dealing damage in the early game and try and leverage that type of lead into a win. We'll have to wait and see if that's going to happen this time around as well. Last game, of course, was more of a freak accident than anything. soO with 30 links across the map. At the same time, Gumiho with like, what, 9-10 Hellions and a Raven moving in towards the natural. Getting big damage there, and definitely paid off for Gumiho. Sure, he lost his third base, but that's not going to be the end of the world. I don't think you can actually scout this Overlord being here. I don't think you can be aware of that. Ooh, Overlord not actually going to commit here. We'll just move back. Somewhat surprising. Just going to chill in this dead space for now. We'll have to wait and see what this initial Viking is going to do out of Gumiho. Is it going to spot around for these overlords, or is it going to straight away move across the map to try and kill any overlords there? And don't forget, force these overlords back home, which denies a lot of vision on the Zerg side. Double depots being constructed there as Gumiho is actually supply blocked. It's kind of bad. It's not the greatest start. And it's something that I've noticed a fair amount out of Gumiho, is that sometimes these mechanical little things in the early game aren't quite as he wants them to go. Metabolic boost isn't quite done yet, and there's not that many links either. Once again, a Hellion run by will be capable of dealing a good chunk of damage here. 8 workers already going down, 3 more going down. Oh my god. 4 Hellions taking out 13 workers, as well as forcing out 8 links. Now you could say, well, getting those 8 links might be nice for future Hellions. That probably actually is the case, but it also means that's 4 less drones that you are building right now, and soO is already struggling with the drones. However, as the follow-up is going to be a medevac with 4 more Hellions, we now see a tech lab being constructed on this bad boy as well. Is it going to be a fusion core for battle cruisers? There's a lot of gas in the bank after all. Or is it once again going to be a Raven? That of course is the question. Ooh, a crab beetle here. What you doing, buddy? Well, not very much, just standing around near these line of sight blockers. Overlord is finally going to go in, but it's so late, I'm not even quite sure what it's going to scout. Oh, the Viking denying the vision here, and then the very late Hellion drop. Once again, capable of dealing a little bit of damage, but this time around I think the Hellions will be capable of escaping. Good pick up there on one of the Hellions. Link's actually gonna get taken out, and we only see pure drones in production right now. Oh my god, every single Hellion's gonna get saved. 12 more drones on the way. At the same time we saw this Viking, I'm not quite sure going in for what, but going in for something. Didn't quite get it. Marines coming back right now. More Hellions are in production. Oh, this is mech. And soO is aware of it right now as well. He knows that this is going to be mech. So we're seeing Raven mech coming out of Gumiho. Double armory before the 2 factories being added. That is a risk. That delays your factory production by so much. Like an actual insane amount. We see 1 factory being thrown down here already. Second factory is going to be thrown down right next to this starport, I do believe. It's going to be multiple Ravens? Oh my, I don't think I've ever seen this before. Unless you count Uthermal's YouTube channel, where he has a series where he plays only Hellions and Ravens. But I don't think that is quite what Gumiho is going to be doing. Second Raven on the way. Is there going to be a third as well? I don't think so. I don't think so, right? Nah, no way. There's just not the money available for it. You already have these extra factories going up. You have these double armory getting the upgrade as well. So, yeah, no way. No way, Jose. This Raven with the Hellion combination is going to move forward. Raven's tanking a fair bit of the damage here. Hellbat morph coming in. No Banelings are ready yet. Raven in the far back. Second Raven coming in as well. We do, of course, have that anti-armor missile that could be utilized. Could also just be for these auto turrets. We'll have to wait and see. 2 auto turrets are going to go down. Third auto turret, is it going to go down? Yep, it is going to go down. 2 Ravens will stay alive for now. No focus fire on them, but this push didn't get a whole lot done. At the same time, though, there was a drop in the main base. I didn't quite catch it. Neither did soO, losing 11, 12 workers there. 10 more drones immediately being produced as these Hellbats are still alive. Might actually get a couple of extra kills. Full pull away from the main base as well. As at the end of the day, the Ravens stay alive. We have a double Thor drop, I guess, as a follow-up. We also have, of course, the reactor here on this starport, allowing for these Thors to be put into medevacs. What a great little build order. The double Raven attack into a double Thor drop. And I don't think that soO is going to be quite ready for that. Hellions once again moving in. There's not enough links in position. Man, Gumiho is completely destroying soO here in the early game. Like, this is actual destruction right now. Now, soO's mechanics are good, but he's lost 37 workers already in less than 8 minutes. We have a double Hellbat drop in the... Well, what is this? The 4th? The 3rd base? I don't even know what base this is. It's been constant action. It's difficult to keep track which one got taken first. Given the fact that there's a gas here, I bet this was the 3rd. I'm not even sure. No. We have way more mining already from that. Yeah, okay, this was the 3rd. We have more mining from here. Yeah, okay. So this was the 3rd base. This was the 4th. We have a little bit of a Ling run by here. Spots the Thors. Double medevacs. Oh, there's only a single medevac out right now. Were the double medevacs not produced? I for sure thought it was going to be a 4 medevac or a 2 Thor drop with like the Ravens to assist as well behind that. Now instead we see the medevacs being produced. There's 3 Thors out already. Is there a 4th Thor on the way? No, there isn't. More Hellions coming in as well. It's going to be a pure Lingbane defense. Without roaches might actually be kind of tricky. Of course, you also still have those 8 queens. You have the anti-armor missile or the turrets, whatever you want on these Ravens. Here comes a little bit of a run by. Should not really succeed. Thor's in position, Hellbat in position. Yeah, all of these SCVs are just going to survive. 1-1 upgrades already done here for Gumiho with a 2-2 on the way. 5th base for soO is something that he desperately needs. Extremely oversaturated in the 4th base. And should also get oversaturated in the main soon, as we see these mineral patches running pretty darn dry. 4th base getting milled right now. So lots of money income here for Gumiho, sending in another 3 Hellions. These Hellions with the blue flame this time around. will be capable of absolutely destroying everything here if soO isn't careful. 8 workers will get taken out, and so will the Hellions. Another double Hellion run by. This time over toward that fort. Will not succeed in killing anything there. Maybe got a Ling, not entirely sure. Triple Thor drop. Okay, this is something we don't see every single day. It's the final countdown. Not sure what it's the final countdown for, I guess. Until these bad boys hit the main base. Banelings are gonna roll in, will clear, well, no SCVs, but deal a lot of damage to them at least. Double Ravens at the same time moving towards the fort base. Queen's moving in position. Here comes the triple Thor drop. What do we have in position? The answer is absolutely nothing right now. Spawning Pool is going to get targeted down here. Or, well, the Queens perhaps. Can these Medivacs save the Thor? Yes, we can. Same time, auto turrets dealing a bit of damage here over at the third base. At the same time, we have triple Hellbats running in towards the fifth as well. So, a lot of things going on at the same time, but honestly not that bad here for soO. Once again, a couple of drones will fall against these auto turrets. We see 4 drones go down immediately. So maybe these drones in the gas are still vulnerable as well. I think 3 extra might actually fall. Yep, there we go. 2 extra drones end up falling. 9 workers being taken out. The 3 Thors stay alive. These Ravens once again going in for a little bit of damage. And will be capable of clearing a lot more drones actually. That's a lot of kills on these Ravens. That's what? 22 kills so far on these Ravens combined. You have 3 Thors still in the Medivacs as well. Hellbats, more Hellbats moving in will take out this 5th base. At this point it doesn't matter that much anymore because there's almost no workers anyway for soO. Triple Thor drop towards the main base. Not quite going to work out. Definitely not going to work out. This needs to be a pickup here or you'll end up losing the Thors. This probably cost more in repairing cost than it did in damage. That is a trade that you usually don't really want to take. 3-3 is on the way here for Gumiho, who has a bunch of tanks, still has the 2 Ravens and 4 Thors as well, so ready for basically anything. He's going to take out a Roach here at the Watchtower, almost gets the 2nd Roach as well. There are Vipers out, and with Parasitic Bomb could potentially take out some of these Medivacs, or maybe even with an Abduct. So I think this is the last that we're going to see of that the kind of Medivac harass. We have Gumiho moving out on the map right now. I would love for him to do a distraction. I guess the distraction is going to be with the Ravens here. Might force a couple of Abducts as well out of these Vipers, which would be huge, huge, huge. Gumiho slowly but surely moving on the map. Queen's in the far back. Scans moving forward. We only have 3 orbitals though, so... well, I was going to say limited scans available. It seems like we still have 6 or 7 out. Hellbats will stay alive for now. A couple of Banes on the way. Adrenal Glands as well coming in. Turret Harassing Man moves over towards the main base. So we see 21 kills on one of these Ravens, and I think it was 11 on the other. 12 on the other. 23 and 12. That is a crap ton of kills. That is 35 kills on 2 Ravens. That's definitely worth it. How many workers have we killed so far this game? 73 workers in a 13-minute game as Gumiho continues pushing forward. Triple Thor drop in towards the main base. soO not quite ready for it. Is on a very low worker count though. That means that soO's army is massive and could potentially have a very good fight over here. Tanks are unsieging in big portions right now. Staying in a defensive position though, somewhat of a defensive position. Adrenal Glands, is it done? Yes it is. That means that this base could potentially be somewhat vulnerable. Only 2 tanks there to save it. Triple Thor in the main base with 3-3 upgrades, absolutely going ham though. As this Viking as well, doing a pretty decent job. I do believe that this is going to get cleaned up eventually here once the Hellions come in as reinforcements. The Triple Thor is going to get taken out eventually. I can only imagine 1 Thor falls already. As these tanks are not moving forward whatsoever. 5 Ultras on the way here as well. And soO running out of workers right now. Only 64 remaining. It's going to be down in mining the moment we see these SCVs go back. Or actually... Why is soO actually mining more? That makes no sense. Oh, I guess there's a lot of gas income here for Gumiho as well. 1400 gas. 10 gas mining. Yeah, of course. Makes some sense. No mules being dropped because we're still relatively low on that orbital count. We're on 5 right now. And just mainly used for scanning. 3-3 is done though here. And you're just going to be up 2 upgrades at this point. 12 more workers going down. A lot of turrets being dropped. Oh my god, these Ravens, absolute MVPs of this game. Look at that, 27 kills and 15. And slowly but surely Gumiho just, what is it, a death by 1,000 cuts is what he's doing here to soO. soO is bleeding out. 17 more drones going down. We'll need to go in for a final engagement and then try and counterattack. But this is a perfect split war on the tanks. I don't think as well. These two can get caught in a single blinding cloud, but not a single other one can be caught in a double blinding cloud. Here we go. There's 3 blinding clouds available. 1, 2, 3. Oh, actually, sorry, 6 blinding clouds available. Didn't think all of them had full energy, but they did. Gonna be capable of cleaning up this tank line, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough. Army supply for Gumiho is still massive. There's a lot of tanks at home. There's Liberators as well. This base got taken out. There's 3 Vikings taking out Overlords right now. We still have the Ravens going ham. This has been an insane game of multitasking here out of Gumiho. And that with relatively low APM. 284 APM. But APM doesn't matter if your brain is as big as Gumiho's. GG gets called and Gumiho puts himself on match point. Alrighty lads, game number 4 here on Moondance. ESL's Moondance. What a map it is. Back base, of course, here with those 6 mineral patches. Single gas, which is in a rich geyser. And a couple of chokes that are, well, rather interesting, honestly. It's the type of choke that would make a UFC fighter jealous. That's how tight it is. Can hardly get through here. Low ground, couple of nice low grounds as well. I do like those. You have this type of position. A lot of line of sight blockers. In general, pretty decent Terran map. Doesn't mean that the Terran is going to win, however. Very often when a map is Terran favored, we see soO kind of go back to his Muralisk play. It's one of these things. The Mura doesn't care as much about the map. Of course, it's still important. You can have annoying tank positions. But as a Zerg, you're often in control. And it allows you to put some pressure on the Terran. And at least the defensive features of the map, which aren't here for a Zerg and are actually helpful for a Terran, are not quite as important because Muras can fly over terrain, which is, of course, something to keep in mind. If you're playing against air units in general, that's something that is rather important. Air units are a weird thing in general in StarCraft 2. Very, very strong. They need to have some big downsides in order for them to be somewhat balanced. You see that with the Muralisk is, you know, terrible at real fights, great at harassment, good at catching drops, but then once again, terrible at real fights. So we'll have to wait and see what soO's plans actually are going to be here on this map. Could actually go for the back base as well. It's just not quite as common. Double gases. I mean, this is just the Gumiho standard. It goes for that fast reactor as well. But as this factory is... Oh, sorry, this is not a factory. My apologies. This is a 2-1-1 opener. And this is an old school 2-1-1. This is what Beyond played in 2016. Legitimately this build order. And we haven't seen this in a while. We've had builds where we see Terran players go for a 2-1-1 with a fast 3rd CC instead. This is something we actually just do not see anymore. Like... I actually cannot remember the last time I saw this build, and Gumiho is bringing it back here. It's going to jump in towards the main base. It's not going to get a drone. Might actually end up losing this Reaper. Well, it's going to get pretty close there. Only 4 HP left. That's a single shot out of that Queen. But it's not going to get it. Stim on the way immediately. We'll see the starport start as well pretty quickly from this point on out. This Overlord is, well, it's going to take a while before this one gets the scout that it needs. Probably want to check whether there's a CC going down in that back base. This could actually be a 2-base all-in behind it as well, like a tank all-in pretending to have a 3rd CC. And then all of a sudden this Overlord is extremely important. Look at that Reaper. Almost spotted that Overlord, but not quite. Starport gets thrown down here. Here come the Marines looking for an Overlord potentially. Or just hiding maybe. Or maybe looking for an Overlord. You never know with Gumiho. He has an infinite amount of builds. Okay, Reaper once again coming back in. Adrenal glands, or excuse me, adrenal. Metabolic boost, wait. Metabolic boost hasn't even been started. You what? 212 gas in the bank. No metabolic boost. Is this a mistake? We have 6 more links on the way. Did soO forget? I'm not so sure. We do have a couple of extra Overlords on the way. That Ling is going to get taken out. Lots of Marines here. Should be a clear giveaway of what this is. Will we see a Roach Warren? Double Evo? No. Metabolic boost going down right now. But this will be, well, too late for the initial push. Evo chamber is being constructed. I am extremely confused as to what this opener is here for soO. Just wanting to save a little bit of extra money. But he was floating a fair chunk of money the entire way through. So... what's the point really? This Overlord could come in and spot that CC at some point. I mean, this is such an easy wall to wall as well. Could finish it off with an eBay, could just build another depot. It's going to be an eBay indeed. We have 15 Marines moving out, almost 16. And behind this we have a Tekla being constructed on the factory. We have combat shield not on the way yet here for Gumiho, which is a surprise. This is a very big surprise to me, actually. You see Gumiho trying to sneak by with these medevacs. I mean, there's just no speed yet. This actually is potentially really bad for soO. What are you gonna do? Fight this with slow links? Gumiho looks at this and goes, wait, you're an idiot. I can actually just straight up fight you, or I can pick up here, going towards the main base. Are you going to be in time is the question. Good fight here for Gumiho so far. Hasn't lost a single Marine yet, I don't believe. No, none of that. Oh, now it's going to lose a couple of Marines. Tries to jump in towards the main base, but speed has finished right now. That means that these bad boys need to pick up, and they need to pick up very rapidly as well. 3 Marines have gone down. At the same time, 18 Lings have fallen. So, a minor win here for Gumiho, but with a 2-on-1 build, you probably want a little bit more damage. Tank is on the way, 3rd barracks is done, 4th and 5th on the way too. I think this is a very good situation for soO. soO survived with 57 workers, is now taking a 5th base already, while 4th and 5th at the same time, actually. Tumor will go down. Queen's already in position once again. Would love to see a Spore just being moved towards this edge. This edge is so difficult to defend otherwise. Do we see a cut in workers here? Oh, probably not actually put in the hotkey then. Not in the control group of the other buildings. We saw some SCVs at least being produced. This actually feels like a pretty major cut. And thus a big investment into this attack. Oh, it might also just be because he's supply block. Once again, a little bit sloppy. Just a little bit sloppy in those mechanics here. Is our good friend Gumiho. 3rd hatchery at the same time going down here for soO. That's going to be a macro hatch. Will allow him to build a lot of Ling Bane. Baning speed not quite done yet. Matter of fact, needs to be microed back at least a tiny tad. Combat shield still not done though, and that means that this push, well, without 1-1, without combat shield, it's going to get absolutely blasted. That was not a close fight whatsoever. I really do believe that combat shield was forgotten. And it makes no sense to have combat shield after 1-1 and not having it for that push. I don't think I've ever seen that personally. Fort CC is on the way already here on the high ground, so Gumiho wants to transition into something else. Probably a couple of extra barracks here. Go into a later game because honestly, a pressure-based style right now, I don't really see it happen. Like, what is he gonna put pressure with? 18 Marines, a tank. Does have a lot of medevacs, kept all of those alive, which is nice, but super useless as well at the same time. 2nd factory on the way already. The extra barracks should be plopped down pretty quickly as well from this point on out. There's nothing in the main base to defend against this drop, but Gumiho's not really paying attention, and that gives our good friend soO a little bit of time to respond, which he isn't quite doing yet. soO not paying attention whatsoever, just now is going to send it back. Pulls away the drones, is going to lose 1 or 2, but I mean, that is going to be about it, no? Spore will go down, but not the end of the world. It's not that expensive. Despite the 6 hatcheries, still 600, 900 minerals in the bank, 1k in the bank here for soO. He's now going to be capable of producing with that. Still has a couple of larvae around as well, so this is more of a decision to not produce rather than anything else. It's not really injecting whatsoever though in that natural. All the other bases are being injected, so should be fine. Where's the queen count? Okay, we have 11 queens out, creep being respread in the middle of the map. A couple of marines moving in right now. We'll want to try and fight that. Gumiho with the scan, gets these tumors. Just keeps an eye on this base as well at the same time, of course. We have 3 armies on the map currently. Gumiho playing Archon mode by himself. 286 APM. He's just going to move back. Marines get picked up here. And we'll get the piss off away from that creep. As forced by these Lings, Banes and Queens. 2-2 finishing up here for soO. The game slowed down a little bit at this point. You have some harass going on in multiple angles, but it's not really doing very much, is it? Triple barracks being used in the wall here. Cute. And I think this kind of shows the intention of Gumiho. I'm just curious whether this can actually be held. I mean, there's 2 upgrades right now. soO is maxed. He's up 40 army supply. Good luck. Like, legit, good luck. How are you going to hold this if he comes in from multiple angles? And that's exactly what soO is doing right now. Coming in from 2.5 angles, it feels like. A couple of tanks are going to get taken out here. Banelings trying to connect with these SCVs as Planetary needs to be repaired. Not the greatest fight for soO, but a fight that will probably be good enough. A couple more tanks are going to fall. Banelings do not get the connections that they want, but the links have breached through in the natural right now. Overall, probably a good fight for Gumiho. When you think cost efficiency wise, when you think of important units, I think a couple of tanks have fallen here, 4 tanks have gone down. That means that the next attack is just going to be that much more powerful without these tanks there to assist. I mean, Marines are great, but tanks are really what makes the defense happen. We now have a couple of extra tech labs being produced. Liberators are out as well over here, and the first 2 Vipers are popping. I mean, this still just feels really good for soO. It does feel like that if he wants to kind of pounce on this opportunity, he needs to spend his money, and he's not spending his money. He's floating 1300 minerals for no apparent reason, except perhaps the fact that he's been getting some poor injects going. Here we go, Lynx trying to connect with these Marines. Tanks in the back will help out, and it actually kind of feels like that Gumiho managed to stabilize with the Sim City, with the extra depots here on the left side as well. I like that a lot, by the way, those extra depots. Just making that surface area on the Planetary for Banelings a lot smaller. 5th command center on the way. We have a 2nd armory. And I'd love to see a Ghost Academy at this point. I'd love to see it. But we're not quite yet. Tanks on the high ground are assisting here as the Vipers are out and should start joining up at some point. They are out, right? Where are they? I don't see them. Am I blind? Okay, they're here. In the main base, this creep is being decimated. We still have a little bit of a group of units over here. We have a 5th base going up at this area. Gumiho seems to have survived and is getting into Ghost right now. Now, you can survive for a long time and then all of a sudden die against one good counterattack of the Zerg, or one just good attack with Vipers. There's a lot of links here. There's a bunch of Banes. The worker count for soO is at 83, which is high, but it's not insanely high. It indicates that he still wants to fight. He does not want to take it to the late game. Or maybe he does, but he wants to get there in a different way. Often we see Zergs going up to 95, 96, 97 workers. That is not going to be the case here, as a mine gets taken out and perhaps a tank as well. No, just a mine it seems like. 5th base, and this is a point where you could say, hey, Gumiho, you might be in a little bit of trouble. Because this is a massive army. It is all coming in from one side though. Lynx moving in, Banelings in the far back, and we get some blinding clouds going. No, just one parasitic bomb. We now have an abduct on a liberator. This was an insane fight for Gumiho so far. When it comes to cost efficiency, I do believe that. Lost like 30-40 supply and killed a crap ton of units. Still only up 5k actually. I thought it was going to be more. This drop also not quite doing what he wanted to do with it. And there's still so much money for soO. soO is lacking larva in a big way though. Can't max out for some reason. It's just struggling. How many hatcheries? There's 6 hatcheries and a hive. 7. I mean, you should have plenty of... I don't get it. It's not been injecting this one, that's for sure. It's not been injecting over here either. At the same time, we do have a big attack here on the bottom 5th base. Needs to be lifted at some point. There's nothing to defend it. Tank is going to get taken out. A couple of extra liberators are sieged up. Not really doing much of anything though. Command center is going to drop down once again. And with these parasitic bombs, I think these libs will eventually fall. I think there's one more parasitic available. Not quite. Doesn't quite have enough. Need a little bit more energy. Then both of these libs would be in trouble. 22 workers going down on the side of Gumiho. soO holds down the Link button. Holds down the Baneling button. And I think is going to try for another bust here. I actually wouldn't mind seeing this turn into an orbital rather than a planetary, so you have the ability to lift it again and again and again, because it's obvious to me that once this turns into a planetary, it's just going to get right-clicked by a bunch of Banelings. That's exactly what's going to be happening here if Gumiho isn't careful. These mules are going to get taken out. A lot of the bio also once again falls. Liberators will stay alive, but the CC is falling so low right now, and there really is an issue here for Gumiho. Once again, mules dropping from the sky. Spire, is that 2nd Spire? First Spire on the way. Might be for Brood Lords, might be for the worst Muta switch in the world. I hope it's not for a Muta switch. That would be kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, maybe it could even work. Nah, there's still a lot of Marines out. Probably not. 3-3 upgrades against 0-0 Mutas isn't quite it either. This CC is not going to get lifted in time. No, it is. But is there anything to repair it? I think the answer there might just be no. Mew is going to run back, but will not get it as the CC explodes. And Gumiho feels extremely dead. Look how much money there is right here. Okay, now we finally see some real production. 91 workers as well. GG gets called as Gumiho just gives up. Says, I can't hold my 5th, I can't do anything. Massive run by in towards the natural as well, doesn't help either. GG gets called as we'll be heading into the final game of this best of 5. Here we are in the final game of this best of 5. As Gumiho once again opens up with a proxy Rex. Just like in game number 1. But this time it's only 2 rather than 4. Slightly different build order. Also soO's initial overlords. Where are they going? Where are you going, buddy? Oh, he's going there. Oh, he's going there. He's gonna find it. He's gonna find it real good. As long as he keeps moving there. Uh-oh. Is he readjusting? I think he just readjusted. That is not good. Readjusting is not what you want here. It's not gonna find it then. What a way to start this final game. Now, it isn't necessarily game over. Proxy Rex doesn't necessarily need to be spotted, but it's a huge bonus for the Zerg. There are ways to beat this by pulling drones, by just microing very well. It is possible for Zerg. It is just a lot harder. It is a very, very difficult build to hold. You know, to make it even harder, if you lose an Overlord in the early game. That's not quite what's going to happen, I think. If this Overlord is moving towards that high ground, is not going to spot the SCV though, is it? Oh no. Oh no, no Overlord in the natural. That is so extremely painful here. That is extremely painful. It's just going to see it the moment the bunker gets down. Oh no, the bunker has already started as well. Look at this! Gumiho! What is this? Building a depot to wall in that marine. That marine's going to be safe forever. And then what? You get one more bunker up here? What a crazy play. What a crazy, crazy play here out of Gumiho. Oh, bunker's not done yet, buddy. You can't get in there quite yet. Second bunker is on the way. Look at that depot. It's going to get cancelled right now. I love that. I absolutely love the way that looked. Both of these marines are going to stay alive. If this SCV dies, though, that could be bad. Follow-up is going to be Reapers, actually, over here, rather than more marines. SCV is taking a fair share of damage. God. Gumiho is going to send... No, this is just for a CC. Is it? No. It's actually for that bunker, I think. That is kind of wild. No, it's going to cancel it. So what are you doing? An aggressive planetary. He's going to planetary rush. Planetary over here. eBay at home. There we go. If he actually does that, I will quit playing StarCraft. And just... My entire life will be about just making sure that Gumiho is alright in life, you know? Just be the president of the Gumiho fan club. In that case, what is this SCV doing? It's not gonna be a planetary, that's for sure. Just here to perhaps repair that bunker. Is it on the inside right now? No, the SCV has died. These Reapers are going to stay alive. Lots of Lynx are dying. Marines are going to end up falling as well. One Reaper, I think, ended up falling in this portion of the map as well. Or at this portion. Factory being built at home. CC on the low ground. We have 2 Reapers. 29 drones here for soO. And how many? 24 SCVs currently for Gumiho. I feel like if Gumiho would have played a standard Marine proxy 2 Rex, it almost feels like he should have just won with that, no? Or like the initial bunker went up, the second bunker probably would have gotten up if you have like 5-6 Marines there to help out. Feels weird. Feels very weird, but alright. It is what it is. Reaper still alive, 3rd CC in production as well. 2 of these barracks are gonna fly back home, so you're gonna have very quick production and also very quick extra command centers. But soO's worker count right now is off the freaking charts. 37 workers, 2 overlords extra on the way, 3 overlords extra on the way. So we're walking into a small supply block. You see larva popping left, right, and center. That means we're gonna see 5, 6, 7, 8 more drones coming in as well. We have a Roach Warren here for soO. Ooh. Is that defensive roaches or aggressive roaches? That is somewhat interesting, because I almost feel like if soO wants to attack right now, there is going to be a decent amount of units out. I mean, there's good production here for Gumiho. There will be what, like 6, 8 Marines maybe? Now we see a lot of Overlords in production. It's going to be aggressive roaches off of 41 workers or so. 2 gases. Ooh. Medevac as a follow-up. I'd love for these Marines to start producing. I am not quite sure what Gumiho is waiting for. He's floating 500 minerals right now. I guess another barracks? He's not building anything, and that really sucks for him. He's not building anything, and that really, really sucks for him, because he needs units to defend this. 37 workers against 41, but that's not what's important right now. What's important is fighting these these 9 roaches that are coming in. These 2 links, these 4 links are going in for a run by. This Viking is not getting any scouting info either. This looks somewhat bad here for Gumiho. It felt like he had a setup which was okay-ish at least, but he hasn't really been producing too much, just focusing on getting more and more infrastructure. There's a lot of units knocking on the doorstep right now. Does he see it? Yes, he does see the 1 roach. Pull the workers to the high ground. There we go. Tank is about to finish up in 12 seconds from now. I don't think there's enough Marines here on the high ground though. Oh no, these links are going to actually block the depot from raising at the same time. That is going to speed up this entire process. More Marines are popping out. Stim not quite done yet. Tank, can you siege up in time? I think the answer might be meh. No? Yes? Maybe? 35 workers left. Oh my god, the 4 Hellion drop actually dealing damage on the other side. If Gumiho gets to stay alive, he might win, but that's a massive if right now. There's not that many links remaining. These Ravagers are rather low as well, but they will survive once again. These 4 Hellions, 3 Hellions still alive, 6 SCVs, or sorry, 6 drones have gone down, 21 SCVs, and I think this game is just going to end right here, right now. Cute little spot there for the Marine, but it's not enough for Gumiho, who ends up losing the game and the series against soO. That is going to be it from me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks, and bye-bye.